At our anniversary dinner, I placed a glistening piece of braised short rib into my wife's bowl. Before it could land, a pair of chopsticks shot out from her side, knocking it away. The sharp clatter came from her young assistant. Anna's pregnant. No, she can't eat anything this greasy. Don't you even know that? The assistant's tone was sharp. My hand, still holding the chopsticks, froze mid-air. I looked in disbelief at Anna, sitting across from me. She avoided my gaze, her head down, stirring the plain oatmeal in her bowl. This was wrong. We had been married for 4 years, but our marriage had never been consummated. Where did this child come from? Leo's father is critically ill, Anna finally said, her voice barely a whisper. His last wish is to see a grandchild. Leo has been such a dedicated assistant all these years. He's worked so hard. After the baby is born, I'll give it to him to raise. It won't affect us. My fists clenched so tightly my nails dug into my palms. For years of marriage, and how many times had I wished for a child of our own? She always refused. I'm scared of the pain, she'd say. I don't like intimacy. And now, she was pregnant with another man's child. My whole body trembled, my heart constricting with a pain so intense it was hard to breathe. I forced the words from my throat. Then what does that make me? Before Anna could answer, Leo stood up, his eyes red and his voice choked with emotion. I'm so sorry, Anna. I see now that forcing my father's last wish on you is too much. If Noah can't accept it, then we'll just have to let my father pass with that regret. The next second, the sting of a slap landed on my face. Anna's eyes blazed with fury. Leo's father is dying, and you're being this petty? Are you even a man? I didn't sleep with him. What are you making a scene about? With that, she grabbed Leo's hand and walked out, not once looking back. On our anniversary, I was left alone in an empty house. The next day, I made a call overseas. I need you to draw up divorce papers for me. On the other end of the line, my lawyer, Chloe, let out an excited shriek. You're finally divorcing her? Does this mean I have a chance? After hanging up, I silently began packing, removing every trace of myself from the house. It would be a lie to say I wasn't heartbroken. The pain was real. Even taking down our wedding photo, my hands shook. Anna's grandfather had saved my life in a fire before he passed away. His dying wish was for me to take care of her. For him, and for my own conscience, I got close to her, cared for her, and married her. I remember on our wedding day, her eyes shone with bright hopes for our future. Although she never let me touch her after we were married, she explained it was due to a traumatic past experience that left her with deep-seated fears, and she dreaded the pain of childbirth. I never suspected a thing, so I waited and waited. But this was the result. My tears hit the floor, spreading into dark spots. I had just booked a flight to leave in 3 days when a call came from a local hospital. Hello, is this Anna's husband? I instinctively gripped the phone tighter and, without a second thought, sprinted to my car and raced to the hospital. An unstoppable wave of worry washed over me. But when I reached her hospital room, I froze. The blood drained from my face, a chilling numbness spreading up from my feet. Anna and Leo were kissing on the small hospital bed, wrapped in a passionate embrace. It's all your fault, she murmured between kisses. You were too rough. You almost made me lose the baby, and now I'm stuck in the hospital. Leo held her hand, his eyes full of adoration. That's because you're just too captivating, Anna. Even being pregnant can't hide your allure. He leaned in, his other hand hidden under the blanket, and whispered in her ear. Who's better, me or Noah? I watched as a blush crept up Anna's neck, her expression turning hazy with pleasure. You, of course, she breathed. I've never even touched that loser. How could he possibly compare to you? If it weren't for you, I might have gone my whole life without ever feeling this kind of pleasure. Leo, it's just a shame I met you so late, so very late. My knees buckled, and I nearly collapsed. The pain in my chest was so sharp I could barely breathe. A doctor suddenly appeared behind me, his brow furrowed with disapproval. Do you have any idea your wife is pregnant? Why would you engage in strenuous sexual activity? Are you trying to kill her? How can there be such an irresponsible husband in this world? You're no better than an animal. He slapped a medical chart against my chest. I stared at the chart, reading it over and over, but the facts were undeniable. Taking a couple of deep breaths to suppress the storm of emotions inside me, I pushed the door open. My sudden entrance startled them. Anna quickly pulled the blanket up to cover herself and shoved Leo off the bed. When she looked at me, there was a flicker of guilt in her eyes. "Noah, what are you doing here?" I silently placed the medical chart on the table. "The hospital called me. Her emergency contact. But it looks like I came at a bad time." Anna's eyes darted to the chart, a flash of panic crossing her face. She forced a smile and reached for my hand. "You're my husband. You can come anytime. What did the doctor tell you?" I looked at her face. It was the same as always, yet felt completely alien to me. "You're pregnant, and you're in the hospital because you had sex that was too rough." My gaze shifted to Leo, my voice laced with ice. "Anna, you told me you never slept together, that it was artificial insemination. Were you just playing me for a fool?" Anna's face turned bright red. "Noah, listen to me. There's a reason for all this. Yesterday, Leo was threatening to kill himself. I was scared something would happen, so I gave in. It was a moment of desperation. Please don't be angry, okay? I promise. I will never do something like this with Leo again." Her expression was gentle, her tone utterly sincere. If I hadn't seen everything from the doorway just moments before, I might have actually believed her. I took a deep breath and let out a cold laugh. "So last night was an accident. What about just now? What do you call the two of you cuddling in bed together?" My words stunned her. She hadn't realized I'd seen it all. She grabbed my hand, tried to explain, but I shook her off. Her facade finally cracked, and she yelled, "So what if we were intimate today? The pregnancy really was from artificial insemination. I didn't lie to you about that. Besides, you hurt Leo's feelings last night and almost drove him to jump off a building. I sacrificed myself to save you from having a man's death on your conscience. You should be grateful, Noah, not attacking me like this." I was so furious I couldn't speak, a lump of anger caught in my throat. "He threatens suicide, so you sell your body and sleep with him? You end up in a hospital because you can't control yourselves in bed, and I'm supposed to be grateful?" The moment the words left my mouth, she slapped me hard across the face. The sound echoed in the room, my cheek burning with a fiery pain. Seeing this, Leo rushed to her side, full of concern. He took her hand, blowing on it gently, treating it with the utmost care. "I'm sorry, Anna," he whimpered. "It's all my fault. I'm the one who caused all this trouble. You should have just let me die last night. I can't fulfill my father's wish, so I should just go and die with him." A single tear rolled down his cheek, which he quickly wiped away, but not before Anna saw it. Her previous defensiveness vanished, replaced by a wave of guilt and fierce protectiveness. "Noah," she snarled, "I never realized you were such a jealous and selfish man. Do you have to push someone to their death to be satisfied? If I had known you were this kind of person, my grandfather never should have saved you. He should have just let you die." Those words hit me like a sledgehammer. I couldn't breathe. 1,000 retorts swirled in my throat, but the emotions were so choked up in my chest I couldn't get any of them out. I clenched my fists and laughed at myself. "Yeah, you should have let me die in that fire. Then maybe I never would have ended up with you." A tear slid down my cheek. I hung my head, my heart twisting in agony. For a moment, Anna stared at my face, a flicker of pity in her eyes. She took a slow step forward. Just as she was about to reach for me, Leo suddenly dashed to the window and leaped out. The scene stunned us all. Anna screamed and lunged for the window. Fortunately, the room was only on the 3rd floor. Leo was rushed to the emergency room. Anna stood by the door, trembling, tears clinging to her eyelashes. When she looked at me, her eyes were filled with a thick, dark resentment. She glared at me. "If anything happens to Leo, it's your fault. You won't just be responsible for his life, but for his father's, who's lying in the ICU." I turned my head away, refusing to speak. An hour later, a doctor came out and announced that Leo was fine, just some minor fractures. The breath Anna had been holding finally escaped her. Seeing her so consumed with worry for him reminded me of a time, early in our relationship, when she used to worry about me just like that. But now, that care and concern were gone. The air in the hospital felt suffocating. I wanted to escape, but Anna grabbed my arm. She looked at me and said, "Go home and get some of your clothes. Bring them here for Leo." I laughed, a bitter, incredulous sound. "You want me to bring my clothes for him to wear?" Anna raised an eyebrow, as if it were the most obvious thing in the world. "What else?" "Noah, don't forget, he jumped out of that window because of you. If you hadn't been making a scene, would Leo have jumped? I'm just asking you to bring a few changes of clothes for him. Is that too much to ask?" I clenched my jaw. After a long moment, a single word forced its way out of my throat. "Fine." Only then did she let go of me. She continued giving orders. "Oh, and make some chicken soup. Leo really liked the soup you made for me before." That chicken soup. I used to start preparing it the night before, spending a whole day learning the recipe and simmering it for hours. All because she was working late and I wanted her to have something nourishing. And all that effort, all that care had ended up in another man's stomach. I couldn't take it anymore. I turned and walked away quickly, ignoring Anna's calls from behind me. Back home, I went to the bedroom and pulled out a few old, worn-out clothes from years ago. A couple of them were gifts from Anna. When we moved into this new house, she had wanted to throw them away, saying I'd never wear them. But I had insisted on keeping them, storing them carefully at the bottom of the closet, telling her they were our precious memories. To hell with memories now. I packed the clothes, but didn't leave right away. Instead, I started getting my passport and other documents in order, gathering evidence for the divorce. I dragged it out until the next day when Anna called, urging me to hurry up. I finally drove slowly to the hospital. When I arrived, Anna was giving Leo a sponge bath. He was wearing nothing but a pair of briefs. She gently wiped him down with a towel, their eyes meeting, laughing and talking. Occasionally, one of them would blush. I suppressed the bitterness rising in my throat and walked over, putting the bag of clothes down. "Here are the clothes." I turned to leave, but as I reached the door, Anna's cold voice stopped me. "Wait, who told you to bring these clothes?" I didn't turn around. "I'm not going to wear them anymore." "Why can't I bring them?" Anna grabbed the clothes, strode over to me, and threw them in my chest. I didn't even raise a hand to block them. "Do you have any idea how long I had to work part-time in college to save up to buy you these?" she yelled. "And you just cast them aside like they're nothing?" The clothes slid to the floor. Anna's face was contorted with rage, but I just said calmly, "They're old and worn out. They're perfect for a change of clothes." Anna's mouth opened and closed, but no words came out. A series of emotions flickered across her face, finally settling into a cold sneer. She stared at me intently. "Noah, don't think you can use these little tricks to get my forgiveness. I might have let the small things slide in the past, but this time you've gone too far." She paused. "And what about the chicken soup I asked you to make for Leo? Where is it?" I held up my phone. "I can order some from DoorDash right now if you want." Anna was livid. She slapped the phone out of my hand. "Noah, what is your problem? Is it so hard for you to take care of Leo, to show a little compassion? The man just jumped out of a window for you. He's injured, and his father is critically ill. Do you have any humanity? Playing these little games just to piss me off." Right on cue, Leo let out a few pathetic whimpers. "It's okay, Anna. A person like me doesn't deserve to live, much less wear Noah's old clothes." That did it. Anna looked at Leo's tear-streaked face, gritted her teeth, and then, as if to prove a point, she stomped on the clothes on the floor. The moment her foot landed, my expression hardened. "That's right, Noah," she spat. "You have so many new clothes in your closet. Why didn't you bring those for Leo? Do you look down on him? Go get them now. If you don't, I'll divorce you. And the soup. I want to see it this time." I kept my eyes fixed on the clothes being trampled on the floor. After a long silence, a voice emerged from my throat. "Fine, let's get a divorce." Anna froze. She slowly turned to look at me. Our eyes met. Her lips trembled. "What did you say?" I sneered. "My wife is pregnant with another man's child, and you expect me to deliver clothes and make soup for her lover? Anna, do you think I'm some brainless idiot? Where is your toy? It's over. We're done." As I finished speaking, Leo scrambled off the bed, his knees hitting the floor with a dull thud. "I'm sorry, Noah. It's my fault. Please don't divorce Anna. She loves you so much. I'll convince her to get an abortion right now. I'll stay away from her forever. I won't bother you again." Anna's eyes widened. She rushed to help him up, her gaze full of tenderness. "What are you doing? Get up." Then she turned to me, her face a mask of fury. "Noah, there's a limit to this nonsense. I'm carrying his child. It's his father's only hope of a legacy in this world. Do you really have to destroy them both to be satisfied?" I closed my eyes. "You can still do all of that after you divorce me." She gritted her teeth. "Don't you forget, my grandfather saved your life. What right do you have to ask for a divorce?" I sighed. "Even if it's to repay a debt, after 3 years of dating and 4 years of marriage, I think I've paid it in full." Anna's hands clenched into fists. "Fine," she screamed. "Let's get a divorce. I'm not afraid. But Noah, everything you're wearing, everything you own was bought with my card. If you want a divorce, you leave everything I bought you behind. Then you can go." A crowd had gathered at the door, drawn by her shouting. Their eyes were all on me. They didn't know the whole story, but when they heard I was using Anna's money, their expressions turned to contempt. "Anna," I said, my voice steady, "my entire salary is deposited into our joint account every month. How can the clothes I bought be considered yours?" Anna laughed mockingly. "Why can't they? Everything you buy goes through the account I manage. You promised me that what's mine is mine. The money was given to me, so how is it not mine? If you want a divorce, strip down and get out. Otherwise, forget it." I had to laugh at her logic. Even some people in the crowd were murmuring. He gives her all his money, and she counts his clothes against him? Besides, it looks like she's the one who cheated. The whispers blended together, making Anna's face flush with anger, but she held her ground, staring at me, convinced I wouldn't go through with it. After a minute of my hesitation, a smirk appeared on her face. "Fine. For the sake of the 7 years you've taken care of me, we'll pretend today never happened. Now, come over here and apologize to Leo, and I'll drop the subject of divorce." She was already turning to help Leo up. The man leaned against Anna, and over her shoulder, he shot me a contemptuous look. His lips formed a single, silent word: pushover. In that instant, something in my brain snapped. Blood rushed to my head. Anna, not getting a response from me, turned back impatiently. "What are you still standing there for? Leo's leg is broken. Aren't you going to help me get him up?" I calmly began to unbutton my shirt. My voice was quiet. "I hope you mean what you say." Anna's eyes widened in shock. Her gaze fell on my hands as I undid one button after another, revealing more and more of my chest. Her face grew darker with each button. "You really want a divorce?" I nodded. "Should I stay and help you raise his child?" Anna couldn't hold back her anger. "Noah, I told you, after the baby is born, I'll cut all ties with him. I won't have anything to do with the child. What are you still so hung up on? We dated for 3 years and were married for 4. And that doesn't even compare to the 6 months you've known him. A marriage like this is just torture." I took off my jacket. "You want to have his baby. You want to love him. Then I'm willing to step aside." The jacket and shirt fell to the floor. Anna was still staring at me, her teeth clenched, as if she thought this was as far as I would go. It wasn't until my hand moved to my belt buckle that she screamed, "But you promised my grandfather you would take care of me for the rest of your life." A single tear escaped the corner of my eye. "Yes, when they pulled your grandfather from the fire, he was burned beyond recognition." He grabbed my hand and begged me, "Noah, I don't have any other hope in this life. I just want my granddaughter to be happy." I shook my head. "Your grandfather just wanted you to be happy. But your happiness is with Leo now, not with me. The best thing for us is to separate." The belt came loose. Just as my pants were about to drop, Anna lunged forward. But someone else was faster. A hand shot out from the doorway, grabbing my pants and deftly rebuckling my belt. It was Chloe. She looked up at me, her eyes filled with a mix of longing and pain. Then she turned to Anna, her voice filled with scorn. "If it wasn't for your grandfather, I never would have let him go to you. I can't believe this is how he's been living for the past year." Anna gritted her teeth. "What does this have to do with you?" Chloe raised an eyebrow. "Everything. I'm his divorce lawyer now. Your demand for him to leave naked to get a divorce won't hold up in court. His money is community property. Before you're divorced, you can't divide it. And even when you do divorce, the money he deposited is still his." Chloe's words made Anna's face burn. She bit her lip, but she latched onto the key point. Her voice trembled as she asked me, "She's your divorce lawyer?" I looked away. Chloe was now a well-known lawyer, specializing in divorce cases. The realization hit Anna, and she flew into a rage. She lunged at me, but Chloe blocked her way. "What divorce lawyer?" Anna shrieked. "I bet you just wanted to get back with her. You hired her to handle our divorce. Have you two been sleeping together this whole time, planning for this day?" The sharp sound of a slap cut her off. Anna's head snapped to the side. She looked back at Chloe in disbelief. "How dare you hit me? You've been sleeping with your assistant and are carrying his child," Chloe retorted. "Noah is guaranteed to win this divorce because he has done nothing wrong in this marriage. We have had no prior contact. Stop making baseless accusations." Anna's lip twitched. "You say you haven't, but who's to say? You're both in this together. Don't you think that sounds ridiculous?" Chloe tilted her head. "Even if it were true, is it as ridiculous as you carrying another man's child?" Anna's gaze shifted to me. "Noah, I explained it to you. The baby was conceived through artificial insemination with Leo. There's nothing between us except fulfilling his father's dying wish." I gave a mocking smile. "Then why are you in the hospital today?" Leo finally stopped playing dumb. He limped over, gently taking Anna's arm. "I am sorry, Anna. I'm the one who's causing trouble for you. Maybe we should just forget it. Don't let this ruin your relationship with Noah. My father has been sick for a long time." His voice cracked, his eyes welling with tears. "So it's okay if he doesn't get to see his grandchild." Anna's expression wavered. She hesitated, then took Leo's hand. Finally, she looked at me, her patience worn thin. "I'll go get an abortion. Are you satisfied now? Can we please stop this?" As she turned back to Leo, squeezing his hand. "Don't worry. After the abortion, I'll find the best medical team for your father. We'll make sure he gets the best care possible." Leo's hand, hanging by his side, tightened into a fist. He forced a smile. "Okay. Thank you, Anna." Chloe was confused by this sudden turn of events. She looked at me, her mouth opening and closing, but she said nothing. She bent down, picked up my shirt, and tried to help me put it on. Meanwhile, Anna was already on her phone, looking for a medical team for Leo. I thought I would feel a pang of sadness or loss, but there was nothing. I stepped back. Don't change your plans for me. I don't want to be the bad guy who caused 2 deaths. I couldn't live with the guilt." Anna looked up, annoyed. She finally put her phone down. "Noah, are you ever going to stop? I've already compromised this much for you. Why are you still pushing for a divorce?" But it wasn't just because she was pregnant with another man's child. It was because, for the past year, she had repeatedly neglected me for Leo. On my birthday, she took him on a trip. They took pictures on the beach and watched fireworks. She was gone for months at a time, only coming back for a few days. Once, when my stomach ulcer flared up, I called her, wanting her to come home and be with me. She yelled at me over the phone. "Noah, you're a grown man. Why are you so needy?" She was in another country at the time, throwing a massive birthday party for Leo, renting out an entire concert hall for a private performance. My heart hadn't turned cold in a single day. The desire to leave hadn't come from a single incident. I pressed my lips together. "Chloe, when can you have the divorce papers ready?" Chloe's eyes lit up, a brilliant smile spreading across her face. "Tomorrow. Anna, I'll have the papers sent to you tomorrow. I hope you can sign them as soon as possible so we can finalize everything and go our separate ways." With that, I turned to leave. Anna grabbed my arm, her hand trembling slightly. No matter how much we had fought before, I had never mentioned signing divorce papers. "Are you serious?" Her voice was a shaky whisper, her eyes fixed on me, as if she couldn't bear to look away. I casually shook her hand off and looked back at her, my voice calm. "Yes. Then what about my grandfather dying to save you? What does that count for?" I didn't answer. I walked straight out of the hospital. The crowd automatically parted to let me through. Behind me, Anna screamed, "Noah, if you walk out that door, I will divorce you. And don't you ever come begging me to take you back." Her words seemed to sink into the ocean, getting no response from me. Anna watched me walk further and further away, her heart sinking to the bottom of her stomach. The curious, gossiping, and mocking stares of the crowd closed in on her, igniting a fire of nameless rage inside her. She slammed the door shut, a curse echoing behind it. Inside the room, Leo could no longer contain his excitement. A smile played on his lips, but he quickly suppressed it, feigning comfort. "It's okay, Anna. Noah loves you so much. He's just throwing a tantrum. It's my fault for putting you in this difficult position and making you two fight." Hearing this, Anna calmed down a bit. "Yes, he's just throwing a tantrum. After all, we have fought many times over Leo in the past year. Big fights, small fights, it was nothing new. Maybe he would regret it in a few days." Thinking this, Anna smiled and stroked Leo's hair. "Of course, I know he's just being difficult. He's always been like this, not even a tenth as obedient as you." But even as she said it, a sense of unease lingered in her heart. Leo took her hand, his face blushing. "So, Anna, are you still going to get rid of our baby?" The question brought her back to reality. The image of my furious face flashed in her mind. She nodded. "Yes, we should. He's more upset about this than I thought. Even though he only married me because of my grandfather, he's still my husband. I should respect his feelings. Don't worry, even without the baby, I'll still find the best medical team for your father." A flicker of resentment crossed Leo's eyes. He moved closer to Anna, wrapping his arms around her waist, their bodies pressing together. His breath fanned across her cheek, his lips brushing against hers, creating an intimate atmosphere. "But Anna, I really want to have a child with you. You have no idea how happy I was the day you agreed. The thought of you carrying a new life for me, it was something I never even dared to dream of." His eyes turned red. "Even though our time with him will be short, I'm still so happy." Anna felt a pang of pity. She pulled him into an embrace, patting his back comfortingly. "It's okay. In the future, you'll find someone you love, someone who loves you, who will have children for you." Leo's hand, hanging by his side, clenched into a fist. He was so close. Why did it have to be this way? As Anna started to pull away, he held her tighter. He placed a hand on her stomach. "Anna," he said suddenly, "is it just my imagination, or did I feel the baby kick?" Anna froze. She instinctively placed her own hand on her stomach, a bitter smile touching her lips. "Leo, don't be sad. There will be other chances. Noah is upset right now, so I should get the abortion first." With that, she took out her phone and scheduled the procedure for the next day. Leo watched her, but he didn't know what to say to stop her. The next day, when Anna came out of the operating room, Leo was waiting for her with a container of chicken soup he had ordered. He eagerly held a spoonful to her lips. "Anna, you've been through so much. Have some soup to regain your strength." The moment the soup neared her nose, the strong, gamey smell of chicken made her wrinkle her nose in disgust. Her stomach churned, and she slapped the container out of his hand, sending it crashing to the floor. "Where did you get this? It smells disgusting. How could anyone drink this?" Leo looked flustered. "Anna, I ordered this from a high-end restaurant. Maybe it just sat for too long and started to smell." He quickly added, "If you don't like it, I can order something else." Anna felt sick all over. Hearing that it was takeout made her even angrier. But looking at Leo's innocent face, she couldn't bring herself to say anything more. She just waved her hand dismissively. But in her heart, she couldn't help but think of me. When she had her appendix out, I had cooked different nutritious meals for her every day, spending all my time in the kitchen learning new recipes, all because she hated hospital food. But Leo, the man by her side now, knew none of this. Anna's head throbbed, and she found herself missing me terribly. She rubbed her temples, and Leo immediately came over, trying to be helpful, massaging her head. The headache eased slightly. Then, Anna spotted a receipt in the corner of the room. Chicken soup, $9.99. Suddenly, her head felt like it was going to explode. A wave of fury surged up from her chest. She snatched the receipt and threw it in Leo's face. "Your high-end restaurant's chicken soup costs $9.99. Leo was taken aback, a look of panic on his face. He fumbled with the receipt. "Anna, let me explain. The high-end restaurant was sold out of chicken soup today, so I had to settle for something else." Before he could finish, Anna slapped him hard across the face. "Are you telling me that in a city as big as Seattle, There's only one high-end restaurant? You bought a $9.99 soup from some cheap place to insult me? Leo, I've been good to you, haven't I? I even got an abortion for you. And this is how you treat me? You couldn't even be bothered to make it yourself, so you just fought me off with this garbage? Tears welled up in Leo's eyes. He tried to play the victim, hoping to gain her sympathy, but Anna wasn't falling for it this time. The difference between him and me was too stark. A chill spread through her heart, and her head throbbed even more. She was about to tell him to get out when he sat down beside her, his tears falling one by one, trying to win her over. His pathetic display managed to soothe her anger slightly. But the next moment, there was a knock on the door. It was Chloe, holding a file. She walked in, opened the file, and handed it to Anna. Take a look. The terms are very reasonable. Noah has more than enough evidence of your infidelity. But out of respect for your grandfather, he's not asking for you to be left with nothing. A 50-50 split of marital assets. If there are no problems, just sign it. The moment Anna saw the file, she felt as if her breathing had stopped. She numbly took it and flipped frantically to the last page. My signature was already there. Anna's lips parted, and she murmured, "Impossible. How could he divorce me? He promised he would stay by my side forever. He owes me this. He owes my grandfather. He can't leave until he's paid his debt." Chloe narrowed her eyes, a cold smile on her face. You have another man by your side, and you still have the nerve to talk about forever with Noah? I can't stand people like you who cheat and then pretend to be the victim. Stop the act and just sign it. Anna clutched the document, her hands trembling so much she couldn't bring herself to pick up a pen. She looked at Chloe defiantly. I don't believe he wants to divorce me. Where is he? I want to see him. Chloe scoffed. Noah's flight left this morning. He's already out of the country. You won't find him. And you recognize his signature, don't you? It's his. Stop deceiving yourself. Those words shattered Anna's defenses. Of course, she recognized my handwriting. The signature was undeniably mine, but she still refused to believe it. She held the document for a long time, unable to sign. Then, before Chloe could say anything else, she threw the file at her. Get out. Get out of here. I don't want to see this. I'm not divorcing him. He can forget about it. He owes me for the rest of his life. He owes my grandfather. She pushed Chloe out of the room. Leo stood inside, a deep frown on his face. He had thought Anna would sign without hesitation. Why was she so reluctant now? He was about to offer some fake words of comfort when Anna's phone rang. She lunged for it, answering with a hopeful, Noah. But the next second, her expression froze. She looked up slowly, her eyes meeting Leo's. He saw a deep, growing hatred in her gaze. She got up, her voice trembling. Is that true? After she hung up, a sense of unease filled Leo. He cautiously approached her. Anna, what did Noah say? Anna shook her head. It wasn't Noah. Leo breathed a sigh of relief. But then he realized Anna was still staring at him, her gaze strange. His heart leaped into his throat. What is it, Anna? Are you still mad at me? I'm sorry. I'll be more thoughtful next time. I won't order such cheap soup to insult you again. Anna's face darkened. Leo, which hospital is your father in? Leo's expression stiffened. After a moment, he said, Seattle General. I told you before. Don't you remember? Anna slapped him hard across the face. You're still lying to me. My people went to Seattle General with a medical team. There's no record of your father ever being admitted. Her voice was filled with the rage of betrayal. So your father is fine. There was no dying wish. Why did you lie to me? The slap sent Leo's head spinning. Confusion and resentment warred on his face. I just love you too much, Anna. I just wanted to have a child that belonged to us. Anna sneered. But I'm married. So what if you're married? He shot back. You still slept with me. You spent my birthday with me. Went to the beach with me. You bought me so many things I wanted. I knew you and him had never been intimate, so I begged you to have a baby for me. Even though you were married, you still said yes. Anna's face was flushed with anger. That's because you lied to me. You told me your father was dying. And you still agreed, Leo said excitedly, stepping closer to her. You agreed because you love me, right? Anna, Noah is divorcing you anyway. Why don't you just say yes? Be with me, just like you promised. Anna shook her head, tears welling in her eyes. This wasn't what she wanted. It was all a lie. She raised her hand to slap him again, but he caught her wrist. His eyes were filled with a mixture of passion and desperation. Why won't you agree? You said you liked me before. You said I was better in bed than Noah. Anna spat in his face. I was blind. You're nothing but a liar. Get out. Humiliated, Leo's face twisted with anger. He grabbed her, pinning her to the bed, and tried to kiss her. Anna struggled, gagging, but she couldn't break free from his grip. In her panic, her hand found the lamp on the bedside table. She swung it with all her might, hitting him hard. Hot blood dripped down. I found out that Anna had put Leo in a coma when Chloe returned from her trip. She was beaming, chattering away about the drama between the two of them. Chloe had spent 3 months in Seattle fighting my divorce case before she finally got the decree. She presented the divorce certificate to me like a trophy, but when I reached for it, she held on tight, her eyes sparkling. I did my part. What about my part? I raised an eyebrow. What part? Chloe's voice was playful. My lifelong happiness. Just as I was about to answer, I saw Anna standing behind her. She looked much older, her clothes thrown on carelessly. She stood a short distance away, her gaze fixed on me, hot and intense, her eyes filled with tears. Noah, are you with her now? I shook my head. Her eyes lit up, and she started walking towards me. Then will you take me back? For my grandfather's sake, take care of me. I took a step back, my voice cold. We're finished, Anna. I've repaid my debt to your grandfather. You were the one who didn't cherish it. You know very well how I treated you, how I loved you these past 7 years. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Tears streamed down Anna's face. She reached for my hand, but I moved away. She broke down, cried like a lost child. I watched her, but I didn't reach out. That's enough, Anna. Don't come looking for me again. Then I turned and walked away. Behind me, Anna's sobs were heart-wrenching, but they no longer stirred any emotion in me. Chloe fell in a step beside me, smiling happily. Wow, you finally figured it out. So what about my lifelong happiness? Have you figured that out yet? I couldn't help but smile, but I didn't answer. I was starting a new chapter, building a new career in a new place. The rest of the world and the people in it no longer mattered.